Nearly 2 decades before James Gunn began crafting a fresh vision of the Man of Steel, 2006’s Superman Returns tried to revive the franchise and stumbled. Directed by Bryan Singer and starring Brandon Routh, the film sought to continue the legacy of Christopher Reeve's Superman, positioning itself as a spiritual successor rather than a full reboot. Unfortunately, this decision to look backward rather than forward left the film grounded, unable to resonate with modern audiences or carve out its own identity. A return without reinvention. Set 5 years after Superman mysteriously disappeared to search for remnants of Krypton, Superman Returns follows Clark Kent as he returns to a changed world. Lois Lane has moved on, Lex Luthor is free again, and society is unsure whether Superman is even needed anymore. It was a compelling setup on paper, but in execution, the film leaned too heavily on the nostalgia of the 1978 and 1980 Superman films without updating the formula for a new generation. Rather than redefining Superman for contemporary audiences, the movie often felt like a pastiche of Richard Donner's original, complete with recycled themes, tone, and even plot points. The result was a film that looked and sounded familiar but lacked emotional resonance or fresh narrative urgency. Brandon Routh and Kate Bosworth, talented but miscast. Casting Brandon Routh as Superman was an intentional nod to Reeve, with Routh channeling the late actor's charm and physique. But while Routh did his best with what he was given, the script didn't allow him to make Superman truly his own. Similarly, Kate Bosworth's Lois Lane was serviceable but uninspired, missing the fiery energy that Margot Kidder brought to the role. Their chemistry never quite clicked, which proved problematic for a movie built on the unresolved tension between Superman and Lois. The stakes of their relationship, complicated further by a secret child subplot, never felt convincing or earned. A villain stuck in the past. Kevin Spacey's portrayal of Lex Luthor was meant to echo Gene Hackman's quirky interpretation from the original films, but it ultimately came off as hollow mimicry. Luthor's plan to create new land masses using kryptonite was a bloated rehash of his 1978 scheme to sink California and profit from real estate. It didn't help that Spacey's version lacked the charm or menace to make Luthor feel threatening or relevant. In a post-Batman Begins world where superhero films were starting to embrace more grounded or character-driven storytelling, Superman Returns felt cartoonish and outdated, even as it aimed for reverence. Brilliant set pieces, lost in a bloated story. Despite its flaws, Superman Returns wasn't without merit. The airplane rescue sequence remains a high point, showcasing the heroism and spectacle that Superman embodies. Another standout moment involves Superman being shot in the eye with a bullet, which harmlessly flattens against his pupil, an iconic shot that's still remembered today. These moments revealed glimpses of the powerful film it could have been, had the filmmakers leaned into a bold new vision instead of playing it safe with nostalgia. A victim of legacy and hesitation. Ultimately, Superman Returns was paralyzed by its reverence for the past. Rather than reimagining Superman for the 21st century, it attempted to graft modern technology and performances onto a 1970s framework. The film was neither a full homage nor a fresh reboot, and that identity crisis costed dearly with both audiences and critics. Looking forward to a new Superman. With James Gunn now at the helm of DC's cinematic future, fans are hopeful that Superman 2025 will finally do what Superman Returns couldn't: deliver a compelling, contemporary Superman story that honors the character's legacy without being shackled by it. By embracing reinvention and exploring Kal-El's humanity through a modern lens, Gunn has a chance to make the Man of Steel truly fly again.